Okay, Brayden, what do you think it's gonna be, boy or girl?
Boy.
Me too. Let's see. Three, two, one. Oh, okay, it's a girl. Oh,
Sign up for this
that's
shit.
fine.
Oh, so annoyed right now. God. All right, no, party's over. Party's over. Everyone out.
We can't wait to meet you, baby.
Oh, it's so stupid.
It's a boy, it's a girl, it's a tragedy. Some say there's nothing more sacred than creating a life and bringing a new child into the world. And what better way to celebrate that life than by throwing an extravagant and sometimes deadly party for their genitals. Hello, my name is Stanzi Potenza and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, gender reveal parties. I'm very passionate about gender reveal parties, and not because I think they're a beautiful celebration of life, but because they're often an obnoxious display of some of humanity's worst members lightly dusted in blue or pink glitter. There are a few different aspects of gender reveal parties that are problematic, ranging from gender disappointment to death and destruction. And that's not an exaggeration, that is just the hardcore nature of some of these parties, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Let's ease into it, shall we? Let's talk a little bit about gender disappointment. It's pretty self-explanatory, it's a pretty straightforward concept that we see play out at a lot of these gender reveal parties when one or both of the parents are disappointed by the gender of their baby. And it's not a new concept, it's been around for centuries, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about it in a historical context, especially when it comes to women, because they were often not seen as valuable as men. Women weren't able to work, they didn't have the same access to education, income, they couldn't become the heads of their household or carry on the family name.
27 years old. I've no money and no prospects. I'm already a burden to my parents.
Son preference is still a thing in many parts of the world today, so it's not surprising, but still annoying to see expecting parents publicly display their disappointment at a party that they planned where they knew there was a 50% chance that the baby wouldn't be the gender that they were hoping for. And before anyone's like, yeah, people can be disappointed about boys too, I know, we're gonna watch some of those videos today. Let's watch some of these dumpster fires. We'll start with a video that was making the rounds on TikTok a few months ago.
Girl, I want a girl.
I don't really know.
You ready?
Yeah. You ready? Yeah.
Pull it out, pull it out.
Open them.
No!
It's a boy. It's a baby boy.
Good thing no one overreacted. And first of all, there's a reoccurring pattern that we're going to see in a lot of these videos where the man is acting like he doesn't want to be there at all. She's like, what are you hoping for? He's like, I don't know. I see this happen so often where the girl's all dolled up, she's looking all cute, and you come in wearing shorts and a t-shirt. And yeah, maybe she is gargling on her own tears off camera, unleashing blood-curdling shrieks fit for a scream queen, but at least she dressed up for the occasion. It's a special event, goddammit. Would it kill you to put on a button down? Believe it or not, this scream queen has some competition.
Nathan, ready? Brinley, watch out.
2, 3.
Now this one is objectively worse in my opinion because not only are you publicly displaying your gender disappointment, but you're doing so in front of your 2 children who are the gender that you're disappointed by. And you can see at the end how confused they are by this. Like, how do you think that makes them feel?
Here are the nominees for worst gender reveal.
Now, in some of these videos, the kids are too young to comprehend what's going on, but in some of them, they aren't, and they immediately recognize their parents' disappointment, and that can't be a great feeling. And look, I'm someone that used to always want to have kids, but a lot has changed for me over the last 5 to 6 years, and I've reevaluated my life and my priorities, and while kids aren't completely off the table, they're not a part of my current plan. But yeah, I definitely used to want to have kids, and in my head I was like, I want a boy and a girl, and I would have 3 kids max. And I think that if I ever had a gender reveal party, which I wouldn't, I would only do so if I knew that I wasn't going to be really disappointed by the outcome. But hey, what do I know? Of course the fucking maggot has a borderline violent outburst over finding out he's having a daughter. I mean, what is it, bro? Are you afraid she's going to complain about how you keep voting for her rights to be taken away? Are you afraid she'll make you see women as people? Also, why are you yelling at your wife like it's her fault? Spoiler alert, it's actually your fault that you're being blessed with a daughter, in case you didn't know. You determine the sex. It's literally a you problem that you have been blessed with girly, dainty, feminine, cottagecore swimmers, you stupid, stupid bitch. And then we have whatever this is. What the fuck is going on here? Did you just come from a funeral? Did you just lower grandpa into the ground and go, well, no time like the present? I hope you brought the middle kid to a chiropractor after that, because his back probably hurts from carrying the fucking team. Trying to balance out the vibes because big bro on the left is fucking aura farming. Was this a gender reveal or an audition tape for the nonchalant Olympics? The vibes are so bad that if it was me in the womb, probably would have self-aborted. Look, here's the thing. I'm not telling anyone they're wrong for feeling their feelings or having a preference for the gender of their baby. I understand, as someone that wanted kids for a long time, you spend a lot of time imagining your future children, what they'll look like, how they'll act, what their names will be. You spend a lot of time thinking about these things, and you might unintentionally set up an expectation, and then when reality hits and it doesn't meet those expectations, yeah, I understand having an emotional reaction to that. And some of these videos where the parents are experiencing gender disappointment aren't that bad. They're not having adult temper tantrums, they are having an emotional reaction and having like a healthy conversation with each other as they process through that. However, I don't understand the need to share all of this with the internet. Look, I'm not telling you what you can or cannot post. You have free will, allegedly, and you're allowed to post whatever you want on the internet. But I don't think that posting a video of you having a negative reaction to finding out the gender of your baby is super chill of you. Call me crazy. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it's something that only parents would understand. But we are living through another internet evolution that is impacting our lives daily. And if you're like me and you're like older Gen Z, younger millennial, you've lived through every like major stage of the internet. I remember when we used dial-up and it took 15 minutes to turn the computer on, and we only had one computer that we all had to share, so we had to take turns getting our fix of the internet, and this was before social media. And even when social media became popular with sites like MySpace and Facebook, it wasn't anything like we're experiencing now, where we basically have unlimited access to the lives of strangers, for better or for worse. There are benefits to this level of communication, like sharing important information across the globe and mobilizing for good causes. But it's also become so normalized for people to overshare online, and once it's out there, it's out there. In my opinion, and I know I'm not alone in this way of thinking, parents need to be a lot more thoughtful about what they share about themselves and their children online. If you are an active social media user, you have an archive of videos and posts that anyone can find. And imagine being the child that stumbles across the video that you posted where you were having a temper tantrum finding out what their gender was. And not only do you watch this video of your parents being disappointed in your gender, it also has millions of views. Before you were even born, millions of people knew that your parents were disappointed with your gender. And hey, at least you're keeping the guidance counselor employed. I think about this every time I see a video someone posts about their children or their pregnancies. And perhaps they think that it's important to share these feelings on the internet so that other parents know they're not alone. And some of these people think that the videos are funny once the dust settles and they compose themselves. But what about the kid who you haven't even met that has already disappointed you over something they have no control over?
Oh my god, chill. You're doing way too much. That one friend that's too woke. It's not that deep, bro.
Maybe I am being wokey McWokenstein right now. Maybe I am, but you know what? I'm glad that my life was not this accessible to the internet when I was a child. I do think we have to be more thoughtful about personal information that we share online, especially when it involves children who haven't given their consent to their digital presence online. Posting your kids online can lead to a variety of issues. One thing that I think about when I see these videos is like the kids' school life. They're gonna go to school and then their classmates are going to be able to easily find videos about them that their parents have posted. Do you want them to be bullied? But also, on a more serious note, there are predators online that will subscribe to your channel so they have more access to your children. And that's like an entirely different conversation, but it is something to keep in mind when you're posting anything about your children.
What do you want, Everly?
A burger.
Ask her what she wants.
What do you want?
A burger.
You want a girl or a boy?
Boy.
What do you want, Colleen?
I don't care.
What do you want, Nick?
A girl.
Okay, ready?
You gotta do it all at once.
Do it over Everly.
Do it over, Everly. No.
Stand up,
Stand up,
Everly. We're
Everly.
gonna find out if it's a
Ready,
girl or a
ready,
boy.
ready. Ready, stand up. Oh!
It's a boy! Everly, you're having a brother. Everly, you're having a brother.
I knew we were doing
How'd you know?
that. So I saw a penis.
Oh.
Is that so?
Oh my god, these videos are like crack. They're so bad. More! Alright, we got another squad dress for a funeral with a casual dress code. Definitely not the same funeral as the other people. And I would believe them if they had said that they had just come from a funeral, because it seems like they don't want to be doing this at all. Mom's like, I don't care what it is. Dad's suffering from nonchalant-itis, and Cindy Lou Who in the middle just wants a burger. The top comment of that video just said, "This could have been an email." Like, are you being held at gunpoint? You don't have to film a gender reveal. No one's forcing you to do this. You have free will. And I really can't imagine why you would want to film this next one. So let's break this down real quick. So this woman was dating this man for a long time, I think, and then they broke up for a few months, and then they got back together. But during the few months that they were broken up, he slept with another woman. She got pregnant and decided to keep the baby, and the girlfriend decided to stay with him and help raise the baby.
I don't know. I guess I'm not woke. Okay, you win. Peter, the gender's here.
Now look, I have a blended family, okay? My parents got divorced, my dad got remarried, had my baby sister when I was 16. We all get along great, but there is not a man alive that I would suffer through that nonsense for. Oh, to be a fly on the wall at that party. Oh my god, these bitches are messy. The dick cannot be that good. And it got worse too because that video went viral and obviously people's reaction to it was bad, and then the girlfriend came back online to make a follow-up video about it because I guess the expecting mother wasn't happy that her information was on blast. And this is what I'm saying, not everything needs to be the internet's business when it comes to your personal life. And in this case, the expecting mother didn't even have a choice. It was just posted online by the baby daddy's girlfriend. I mean, way to spoil the experience for this woman. It's bad enough that it's happening in the first place, so they're off to a great start. I'm sure everything will work out and everyone will be happy forever. You might have gotten this far in the video and think, I don't know, I don't think it's that bad. But trust me, it gets worse. We've only scratched the surface. Oh, you fool. Gender disappointment was just the tip of the iceberg. This rot goes deep. Gender reveals can be weird and toxic, but did you know they can also be deadly? It's time to talk about extreme gender reveals.
Extreme gender reveals. Is it a boy or a girl? How about fuck you?
That's right. Welcome to Extreme Gender Reveals, where your baby's gender is the world's fucking problem. What makes a gender reveal extreme? Well, I'll show you. People love a spectacle, I get it. It's a special moment, sometimes. And you want to make it as magical as possible, but this isn't a fucking circus and you don't need explosives to reveal the gender of your baby. It's never that serious. And I'm saying this as someone who loves a spectacle. I love pageantry, I love a party. But some of these parties have significant consequences resulting in death and destruction. Like this case in 2023, where a couple hired a pilot to drop pink powder onto them from the sky, but while he was doing it, the left wing of his plane collapsed, resulting in the plane crashing and the pilot dying. The plane goes down. Meanwhile, the partygoers and the couple are jumping for joy and celebrating the gender reveal of the baby, not realizing that the pilot has perished. I guess the gender reveal god said a life for a life. Pretty crazy, right? But believe it or not, that is not the only gender reveal that has resulted in a plane crash. That's right, a second plane has hit the gender reveal party. In 2021, a gender reveal party in Cancun resulted in a plane crashing into the water and resulted in the pilot and co-pilot both dying. But it's not just planes, oh no. It's all fun and games until you take grandma out with a pipe bomb you accidentally built. That's one way to handle your in-laws. The expecting couple accidentally built a pipe bomb full of colored powder that once ignited sent shrapnel flying, instantly killing the expecting grandmother. And look, accidents happen. Obviously, they didn't want this to happen, and I can't even imagine the grief that they must have experienced. But this was completely avoidable. A DIY grenade should never be a gender reveal must-have. What's next? The gender drone strike? Say it with me, kids. Extreme gender surprise leads to terrible demise. And don't worry, it gets worse. In 2020, a couple held a gender reveal party in El Dorado Ranch Park using a pyrotechnic device that resulted in a horrific forest fire in California. The fire lasted for over a month and burned nearly 223,000 acres. This resulted in extensive damages, multiple injuries, and the death of one firefighter named Charlie Morton. It caused $42 million worth of damages and resulted in the couple being charged with involuntary manslaughter and multiple other charges. They ended up having 30 charges brought against them, and after multiple attempts to dismiss the charges against them, in February of 2024, they took a plea deal. They pled guilty, resulting in the husband being sentenced to 1 year in county jail and 2 years of community service, and the wife being sentenced to 1 year of community service. Additionally, they also received a $2 million fine. Now imagine you're expecting parents who, by the way, already have other children, and after one stupid fucking decision, you are now single-handedly responsible for one massive environmental disaster and the loss of a human life. And on top of that, you're about to have a baby. And now one of you has to go to jail for a year while the other one has to take care of all of the kids by themselves. Kids who are probably incredibly distraught and confused. I can't even imagine what they must have been dealing with and what they'll have to deal with for the rest of their lives. I can't fucking imagine. That is a goddamn nightmare. I would have asked for the firing squad. And as someone who lives in LA and was here for the LA wildfires that happened earlier this year, let me tell you, those fires are no joke. They spread very quickly and are notoriously hard to contain. So for you to be living in California and not even seriously consider the possibility that this might be dangerous just so you can have a big dramatic moment to celebrate something only you care about is insane. And that's not even the only time it's happened. What is it about your child's potential chromosomes that make you lose all brain function? There is a huge lack of consideration in these situations. It's deeply self-centered. And I'm not saying you can't celebrate, okay? I'm not the fucking fun police, but there are a million other ways for you to celebrate these moments that don't cause direct harm to you, others, or the environment. Do your little cupcakes, do some glitter, do some smoke, not in this way. Wouldn't recommend celebrating your child's gender with asphyxiation. If you are an expecting parent planning a gender reveal, please be more considerate. Your actions have consequences, and your poor choices will not only impact you, they will also impact your children. Imagine growing up with the knowledge that your father went to jail for causing an enormous fire, resulting in someone dying over your gender reveal. Or growing up and finding out that the reason you never got to meet your grandmother was because she died at your gender reveal party. Your desire for grand displays of attention do not outweigh the safety of others or the environment. Not to mention that some of them have these obnoxiously excessive reveals only for them to be disappointed in the fucking gender. Are you kidding me? And I haven't even touched on the fact that this baby whose gender you're obsessed with might end up being trans later on in life.
Gender's a social construct, bitch.
Imagine the first one to misgender you before you're even born was a homemade pipe bomb. And I'm not saying gender reveals are by nature immoral or problematic, but as we've seen in today's videos, some of these parents have intense and quite frankly toxic reactions to finding out the gender of their child. And while you're not wrong for having a preference, in my opinion, you should not choose the path of parenthood with such rigid expectations. And you projecting your own expectations onto your child is going to make them fucking hate you. Your child isn't an American Girl doll, and you can't mold them into the version of themselves you've created in your head. It is your responsibility to guide them and help shape their moral compass. But they are a human being who will experience the world outside your interpretation of it. it. And they will inevitably form their own opinions and discover things about themselves that you might not agree with or understand, but that is the price you pay when you decide to have children. I say all this because I do think there's a connection, because you can see in some of these videos, the child has already failed to meet the parents' expectations before they've even been born. And that's just gender. But there are so many other things that your child might have to experience throughout life that you have to be prepared for, like gender dysphoria, sexual orientation, mental health issues, disabilities. Also things like differing social, political, and religious views. If you are incapable of fully embracing and providing unconditional love to your child, you should not be reproducing. You cannot mold them into a version of themselves that you deem acceptable. And if you try, you are guaranteeing them a life of pain and suffering and depriving them of fulfilling lived experiences, and they will not forgive you for that. I have so many friends who are in their late 30s, early 40s, who come from dysfunctional families, and one of them has said to me multiple times that they wish they had my family, because I talk about my family often and how supportive my parents are. I did stray off path a little bit with this yap, but I think it's an important conversation to have, and it's relevant to this video, because I don't think a lot of these gender reveals are about the baby. They're like content moments for the parents. But you're not just having a baby, you're about to raise a human being. And I'll say this again slowly, because sometimes the internet needs 18 disclaimers in order to process a statement. Not all gender reveal bad, some good. Happy for you. If you want a gender reveal party, go for it, but be safe. Be considerate of others, your environment, and perhaps consider not posting your adult temper tantrums online for the whole world to see. We live in an age of social media where you are much more accessible to the public than you might think. I wouldn't feel super stoked to find out that my gender reveal went viral because my dad punched a window when he found out I didn't have a penis. No cock, no balls, no paternal love. Remember, you're not just posting for one now, you're posting for two. If I ruffled your feathers in any way, please be aware that all hate comments will be added to the bullying fetish spank bank. I have always said that you should monetize people's hatred, but why not goon to it as well? Or whatever Jesus said. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. Let me know about your gender reveal hot takes, if you have any, or if you have any crazy gender reveal stories. And I will see you on the next one. Bye!
Surprise, bitch. Bet you thought you saw the last of me. Oh.